The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored on behalf of Mazda by Tips on TV.
Sharing a car can create stress, a bump in the road, even for the best relationships. Here to help pave the way for car sharing couples is renowned marriage and family therapist Elizabeth Earnshaw, who's teaming up with Mazda to share details of a new car compatibility survey. Elizabeth is the author of I Want This to Work, and she contributes to the New York Times, USA Today, the Washington Post, and more. Elizabeth, what are some issues that impact a relationship where the couple is sharing a car?
With anything that we're sharing, there is going to be conflict, right? Because people have differences in preferences, they have personality differences, and so that can complicate things. We actually have a word for this in couples therapy. It's called a perpetual problem. And so when couples are sharing a car, sometimes there's conflict around these different preferences. In fact, over half of Americans shared with Mazda that they fight at least once a month over the state of their car. And so it can be a pretty big issue. Luckily, Mazda has come up with some technology that helps to alleviate some of that stress.
I can tell. I mean, my fiance and I fight about which way the utensils should go in the dishwasher. So a perpetual problem. I'm understanding. Okay. So
Perpetual
how can
problem.
this sort of conflict impact relationships?
There are a lot of ways that this can impact relationships, just like you talked about with the where the things go in the cabinets or whatever it is. There might just be arguments, but sometimes it can impact relationships in a really big way. Mazda did a survey about car compatibility, and they found that 1 out of 10 men actually said that they would consider ending their relationship if they were not compatible with their partner and their car. So if there's car conflict, they would end the relationship, which I feel is pretty shocking, actually.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a shocking result of this survey. So I'm interested to hear more. Let's talk about what Mazda has done. What systems have they created to help people out?
So they've created a lot of systems to help a couple share a car or really to be able to share it with anyone. I think the biggest is the driver personalization system. This system creates multiple driver profiles for whoever drives the car. And every single time you get into the car, it recognizes who you are and it knows your settings. And there are over 200 settings. It includes stereo, windows, mirrors, sorry, not windows, mirrors, seats, all sorts of things, climate control, so that when you get in, you don't have to worry about adjusting any of those things. And then when the other person gets in, they don't have to worry about the adjustments either. So it really helps to relieve any tension that might be there from those differences.
Elizabeth, I knew you were going to bring up climate control. Someone likes it warm, somebody else likes it cool, right? What else did the survey ask?
Yes, yes. So, something else that the survey found was that because couples argue about this so much, it's a pretty big sticking point, and that a lot of couples, 1 out of 4 couples, would clean their car every single week if it meant that they could avoid the conflict. And so, couples are saying, this is frustrating. I would do anything not to have this conflict. But sometimes when you're sharing a car, it's really hard to know where everything can go. And Mazda tried to solve for that by creating a lot of cargo space and a lot of space in general for storage. So if you've got yoga gear and your partner has tennis gear, both of those things can fit into the car in an organized way.
Love to hear it. Okay, give us some therapy advice for couples that are maybe in this situation, that are in a vehicle sharing situation, and they're maybe struggling with it a little bit.
So, if you're having conflict around sharing your vehicle or really anything, and you can't figure out how to get through that conflict, where you're probably getting stuck is with gridlock. And what that means is that you are trying to get your partner to be more like you instead of recognizing that you're both different people. And when you can recognize that there's differences, that there's different preferences, and that that's okay, then you can work towards creating win win solutions. One of those win win solutions can be easily found in the Mazda CX-70 because you don't even have to negotiate the solution. You're both going to have everything you need in the car and all of your preferences set.
I learned some things today, including new therapy words. I'm really pleased with this. Elizabeth, where can we go for more information?
If you'd like more information on the car, you can visit MazdaUSA.com. And if you'd like some more relationship tips, you can follow me on Instagram at Liz Listens.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Rosie.
The preceding portion of Studio 512 is sponsored on behalf of Mazda by Tips on TV.